Hey guys, welcome back to Coffee and Questions. I'm so glad you could join us today. Remember, here in this show, we like to answer your questions about God, Christianity, the Bible, life, whatever it is. I try to answer based on what I'm doing. My focus, my speciality is, of course, Christianity and the Bible. So love to hear your questions, love to answer those questions. Sorry I didn't post last week. I know I said I was going to put a video out last week to answer this question. What force in this world stops the power of the cross? And that's an easy one. I bet you already know the answer to it. It's your will. You see, God is a God of love. He doesn't come down and force us to believe in anything. He offers us the opportunity to join Him. And He says, I know that we're separated right now. We're struggling. Our relationship's broken. You're sinning, and we need an answer to that. And so He sent Jesus Christ to die on the cross. And those who put their faith in Him will be saved. But if you choose not to put your faith in Him, then that's your decision, and He's not going to violate your free will to do it. Also, in the sense that our free will can violate or can stop the power of the cross, in that if we are a Christian, yet we choose not to share the truth of God and His love with others, then again, we limit the power of the cross because we are not sharing it with those who need to hear it. And so those are the things that can stop the power of God. All right, God's cross. Nothing else can. All right, nothing else limits God's cross. Not creation, not time, not history, not angels, not demons. Nothing can stop the power of the cross of Jesus Christ. So, enough sermons. Let's move on from that. On Wednesday nights, I've been going through this fall a series on different worldviews, just as a small group for people who are interested in that. And it can get a little philosophical. It puts me in a little bit of a philosophical mindset. All right, and I'm not a philosophy major, so but as anybody else, I can ask philosophical questions and try to come up with answers as best that I can. So it gets my thoughts going in strange and interesting directions. So what better thing can I do with those thoughts than pass them on to you? So it's time for a little coffee house philosophy discussion. That's a discussion where there's nobody who's actually trained in philosophy, but we just want to sit around and drink our coffee and make random discussion about the reality of this world. So the other day I was pondering something that's it was just a little out there maybe. I don't know. You can decide for that. But it was this question. If atheists are right that there is no God, why are there people who believe in God? If God has never existed, why did humans ever even come up with the idea of God or even the belief in God? Now, let me explain. See, we just got a new puppy, so I need to drag her into this. I'm going to put a picture up, so you're probably seeing a picture of her right now. And she's this black lab Great Dane mix, or as hipsters like to call them, Labradoodles. All right, anyway, she's 8 weeks old and just, a bundle of energy and extremely curious about her new environment and the rules and the expectations that are being put on her and the new toys that she's gotten. But something that I don't see her do, I just don't see her doing this, is wondering about the existence of God. She's not sitting around going, I wonder if there's a God who created this world. I wonder if there's a God who created this stick that I am chewing on. Of course, I can't prove that she is not thinking about that. I don't see that in her actions, in the way that she's living. So, in fact, I don't even see her begin to ask the question, why? Why does this happen when I do this? It leads to an interesting question of why do we even ask why? You see, I found an article on Psychology Today which talked about how curious chimps can be, and yet this Dr. Livio claims chimps don't ask why. Even 3, 4, 5-year-old kids, humans ask why. And yet chimps, as curious as they can be, maybe one of the most curious animals out there, I don't know, they don't ask why. You see, they simply accept the world for what it is. Yet humans, for some reason, we desire the existence of God. And when I say that we desire it, I believe that to be true when you consider the vast number of people who actually do believe in a God. If you do the research, you look at the numbers, and you see that only it's somewhere like 10 to 18% of the world doesn't believe in a God. Now, I know we can go a little deeper. I know we can go, well, how many people just say they believe in a God, but they, because their culture requires it of them, but they don't actually live or believe in a God? And those are numbers I don't have, so I can't go there. But 10 to 18% of the world's population, so we're talking, 7 billion-ish, 7.5 billion, however many people, only 10 to 18% of them do not believe in a God. So I think the numbers indicate that we as human beings desire to believe in a deity. We desire to believe in a God. Yet why do we desire the existence of a God? Is it simply because we ask the question, why? And when we had a primitive society, we couldn't answer that question, and so we created this idea of God. We ascribed it to some deity, but why do we even ask why? If we are simply evolved apes as naturalism and existentialism and postmodernism and evolution, all these people posit, all that they say, then why do we ask why? How did that help us in an evolutionary sense? How did that even come to be about? Why are there no other primates that we see even considering the question why? Why would we look for an answer by Why would we look for an answer by creating a being who exists outside of the system that we're in? That doesn't make any sense. Would it not be more natural to create a deity that exists inside the system of rules and cause and effect that we currently see? That's not logical for us to have done that, is it? I don't know. That's just kind of my thoughts on it. And if we are simply slightly more than evolved apes, can we actually trust our own judgment about what we see, experience, know, and deduce altogether? But I digress. Simply put, I'm wondering if humanity's continual struggle over the existence of God is not proof alone that He does exist, that God does exist. Perhaps there is something inside of us that drives us to want to know God, know a God, have a deity, know God, instead of simply accepting reality as it is, as the rest of primates do. If that is the case, why? Would it not be because someone put that desire inside of us? Maybe someone who desires a relationship with us. I don't know. Those are all good questions from a philosophical standpoint. From a biblical standpoint, I can give you exactly what the truth is. So those are my thoughts today. I would love to hear your thoughts on all of this. I did put a link to the article by Dr. Livio, so you can read that if you want. It's Psychology Today. Please understand he comes from this whole question of why do we ask why from an evolutionary standpoint, and it's simply unsatisfactory with the answers that he comes up with, I find, because he just doesn't pursue the metaphorical rabbit to the bottom of the rabbit hole, so to speak. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Love to hear back. Leave me a comment, send me an email. Check in with us and talk to me on Sunday. I'd love to see you and just continue this discussion. Just some interesting thoughts. If I'm way off base, I'd love to hear that. Like I said, biblically speaking, we know that we were created by God in God's image for a relationship with God. So all of those questions that I asked are answered by the Bible. Anyway, like I said, enjoy this conversation with you and look forward to having more. See you later.